Karen, I want you to tell us about Chop and Stop to get the most nutrition out of some
Oh,
like
chop,
garlic
yeah,
and
hack
onions.
and
And
hold, chop and stuff. Yeah, yeah. So that's there is a very powerful chemical reaction that happens when you cut a lot of cruciferous vegetables, broccoli being probably the most concentrated. This chemical reaction is called sulforaphane, and it's a chemical that's made through a chemical reaction when you chop your broccoli, cruciferous vegetables, we're just going to say broccoli, and you wait about 45 minutes, and this sulforaphane is created. Now that comes from chopping or cutting the cell wall of the broccoli.
okay.
And in the broccoli, you're going to find an enzyme called myrosinase. And then you're also going to find, so the cofactor is glue, I can never say it. Yeah, so there's a cofactor and an enzyme that come together after about 45 minutes and sulforaphane is created. Okay. So, and that's what you want to do if you're going to heat up your broccoli in any way. If you're going to steam it, if you're going to roast it, if you're going to put it on the grill, it doesn't matter. Okay. Now,
Because the cooking deactivates the myronase.
myrosinase.
Yes.
Myrosinase.
Yes, yes. So, but if you're going to eat it raw, you don't need to prep that or anything. You're just going to eat it because you're breaking down the cell walls with your teeth. And you're not heating it, it's just going in your body and it's going to sit in your body for like 45 minutes, maybe a couple hours. And that sulforaphane is made, and that is a huge cancer fighter. Off the
Uh-huh.
charts, huge. Now, please also eat those stalks, eat those broccoli stalks, because it's just more concentrated than a floret, right? So you're going to find more sulforaphane created from the stalks. I know
Right.
they're not super yummy. Just chop them up if you want to.
We'll do that.
But actually, even more sulforaphane is made in broccoli sprouts. And usually we don't heat up sprouts, right? Because they're so delicate. So you just eat them however you're going to eat them
Yeah.
in a wrap or whatever.
It's like 100 times more, right? Something
It's
like that.
it's like I maybe even more than that, but my gosh, broccoli sprouts. And I'm not the biggest fan of sprouts because it's a texture issue. But I'm forcing myself to a little bit more just because really it's just such a powerhouse. And I've had cancer a couple of times. So, there's no reason I shouldn't be eating them. No reason anybody shouldn't be eating them.
Right. It's interesting because these compounds like the sulforaphane are these plants' natural defense mechanism to protect themselves from getting a viral infection, fungal infection, or whatever when their cell walls get damaged. So that's why you have to damage the cell wall to make the compound, because the plant is trying to protect itself. It's been damaged and it's trying to protect itself. And there's another vegetable that the same thing. There's another one called allicin, which is made in onions. And it's the same but different times for that, right?
Yeah, so the allium family does something similar to the cruciferous family. And if you chop and stop or hack and hold, whatever you want to do, cut your onions, shallots, garlic,
Garlic, right?
garlic, yeah, for about, let it sit, cut them, kind of work on your recipe, do whatever you're doing, and let it sit for about 15 minutes or so. Then that allicin, ALLICIN, by the way, is created. And that too is a big cancer fighter. Now that has a bell-shaped curve in that you're at that 15-minute mark and that is created, that allicin is created. That's when you want to start using your food in a recipe. And then it does kind of wane from there. And that's okay. Like if you think, oh shoot, I didn't pre-cut my, garlic or whatever. It's okay. We're both just talking about getting the biggest nutrition bang for your buck. It's still garlic. It's still awesome.
There's still other health benefits too, right?
Yeah. Other benefits
Right.
to it. Yeah. But if you really are just really drilling down and trying to get the most from your food, then you want to wait about 15 minutes for the allium family.
Right.
And then for the cruciferous, interesting thing about the cruciferous vegetables and sulforaphane. Now, when you cut up, like if you're bringing your broccoli home and you're going to put it in a soup or whatever, so you can bring it home, chop it up, and then put it into a container or whatever, and put it in the fridge. There's no bell-shaped curve. That sulforaphane is going to hang out and be in that food, be in that broccoli, whatever, until you use it. I don't care if it's in 3 weeks, probably not 3 weeks, but you understand what I'm saying.
But not the
Good to
onion,
know.
right?
But not the onion.
Right.
The onion you have the onion has a shelf life, the sulforaphane, the broccoli does not.
Dr. Christy Funk taught me, because like everyone, I love air fried anything, and did do air fried broccoli and Brussels sprouts. I don't know, maybe I just love them.
Oh, I love your fried.
Yeah.
I know.
I love
I
those.
think you're the first person I knew that had an air fryer, which was, I don't know,
Yeah.
6 to 7 years ago or something like that. We were
Yeah,
talking about
right.
it. But she said, just then take it out of the air fryer, and you have the little bit that you've cut up on the side into teeny tiny bits, and just sprinkle them on top.
Right.
Because I
So
was like,
that's
oh no, I can't cook my broccoli anymore to get the sulforaphane.
So that's interesting, and thank you for saying that. Yeah, she number one, she's right, and she's awesome because she's Christy Funk. But
Totally.
little girl crushing her. But did that come through?
It did.
But-
It did. I do too. It's okay. We can
Okay,
talk
okay,
about that
good,
later.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what she's saying is, the enzyme myrosinase is destroyed in heat. Okay, and when
Okay,
that
right. I
and
remember this.
here we are. Yeah. So this is tying it all together. So the myrosinase is destroyed in heat. So what you want to do is
Deactivated,
it's deactivated. So when you cut it up and let it sit, and the myrosinase then comes together with the cofactor and sulforaphane is made, then you have a stable product, a stable food. You can heat it up all day long and you will not kill the sulforaphane. Okay.
Okay.
But if you bring your broccoli home and you're like, I'm going to make the soup right now, and you don't wait, okay, and you heat up the broccoli, and you've killed that enzyme, the right myrosinase. Now you can get that back. You can reactivate the whole process and still get your sulforaphane if you have a little bit of saved, if you will, myrosinase in the form of cut broccoli off to the side. Okay. Now, if you don't, because you're like, I just cut everything up and I've got too much on my mind right now to think about this. If you have a little bit of mustard powder in your spice drawer, because mustard
is a cruciferous vegetable.
is a cruciferous vegetable.
Oh, wow.
So what companies do is they take mustard seeds, so they haven't added any heat, take the mustard seed, grind it up, and it's mustard powder as we know it. You can add a little bit of mustard powder to that cooked broccoli soup that you're making, and you will then have sulforaphane.
So using the chopped broccoli
Very
like you were doing is the same concept, right? And
Okay.
the other place this is important, by the way, is
Frozen.
Frozen broccoli's good. I mean, most frozen people, it gets a bad rep, but a lot of frozen food is actually as healthy, if not healthier, than some fresh produce because it was frozen right off the field
Fresh.
as opposed to getting on a truck, right?
Right.
So, but broccoli, frozen broccoli, before they freeze it, they blanch it. So they've deactivated. People they think it's raw broccoli, but it's actually been blanched. So you have to use the mustard powder technique on frozen broccoli, and when you use it, because even if you cut it, because it's already been heated once, the myrosinase has been deactivated. So
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Another
mustard
little
powder is
trick.
delicious. So that
Yeah.
is a wonderful solution.
yeah,
I
And
think.
very, very little is needed. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
like
it's
an eighth of
strong.
a teaspoon or something. It's very, very small. Yeah.